Once upon a time.
Hi there, Acorns. Going to try another song for you in the Story Song series. And this is yet another song that came from this album right here. Bluegrass Style. That's Mr. Charlie Louvin. This CD came out back in 1993. It's an excellent album if you can find it. And I say another song because last Tuesday, for Old Timey Tuesdays, I did The Mother of Bluegrass off of that same album. And I can see now you can't see the album. I was trying to sort of prop it behind me on the piano. Let's see. How's that? Not much better. But anyway, I'm going to tell you more about this song. I first heard it on this album. But in preparation for uploading it, I looked around and found out that this song is much older than this particular album. But I'll tell you more about what I found out about this song after I get through it. And I do want to give you a heads up right now, give you a major warning, I guess, that this song, it has some violence in it, some pretty graphic violence. Not quite on the level of the Knoxville Girl ballad, but somewhere close. And so if you want to, just stop the video right now. I wanted to let you know that. And I may make a total mess of this, but like I said, after I sing it for you, I'll tell you some things that I found out about it. I was standing by the road in Blackjack County, not knowing that the sheriff paid a bounty for men like me who didn't have a penny to their names. He locked my legs in 35 pounds of Blackjack County chain. All we had to eat was bread and water. Every day we had to build his road 1.25 miles. And the black snake whip cut our backs when some poor fool complained. But we couldn't fight back wearing 35 pounds of Blackjack County chain. While the sheriff lay a-sleeping, we all gathered round him, slowly creeping. And heaven help me to forget that night in a cold rain, when we beat him to death with the 35 pounds of Blackjack County chain. Well, the wounds have all healed, and I'm thankful that there's nothing left but scars around my ankles. And at least I know no man will ever be his slave again, to his black snake whip and his 35 pounds of Blackjack County chain. Blackjack County chain. Blackjack County Chain. So like I said, I first heard it from Mr. Charlie Louvin here. I was aware, for a long time that was the only recording that I knew of the song, but then maybe about a decade or so after that came out, I was aware that the Del McCoury Band released the song. I've not even heard it, but I just know that they put out a version of this song. And I kind of assumed that Del took it from that album because there's another song or two on that album that Del chose to record. But then sometime after that, I heard on like a classic country station, I heard Hargill. Oh my goodness, I'll have to put his name on the bottom of the screen here. I looked it up and now I've forgotten it. Hargill is either his first or his last name. He has an unusual name. But he was a classic country singer, and the most well-known song that I know of that he did is called Skip a Rope, which is one of my first cousin's favorite songs. But he had, is it Carson Hargill? I think, Carson Hargill, something like that. He had a really deep, rich, low voice, kind of bassy voice, and that's the way he sang this song, and it worked really well. They did a full sort of Nashville production of it. It has a lot of reverb and then a lot of background singers and just some real beautiful music. Now that came out in 1968. So then I decided, so that's probably where Charlie heard it. That must be the first time that anybody recorded the song. But when I Googled it just before attempting this song, I found out that now a whole slew of people have done it, and that actually the very first person to record it, maybe the second person, but I guess the first big act on a label to record it was Willie Nelson in 1967. So he was a year before Carson Hargill. The song was written by a man named Red Lane. Kind of sounds like a made-up name, but he was a singer-songwriter, and I think he might have put the song out just before Willie, but he wrote the song. Now, according to Wikipedia, Red Lane pitched this song to the great Charlie Pride, and I think Charlie liked the song, but he passed because he thought the song was too controversial. And I can see why. Obviously, there's, like I said, there's some graphic violence in there. Now, interestingly, Willie, his single right before Blackjack County Chains was The Party's Over, which is another song I really like. Early Willie Nelson song. I might do that on Old Timey Tuesdays one of these days. You never know. But that song had reached 24 on the charts, but I think it took it several weeks to get there. When Willie released Blackjack County Chains, or Blackjack County Chain, I keep pluralizing it. I think Charlie pluralized it, but it's Blackjack County Chain, which I guess would mean like everybody was chained together as opposed to just you had chains. But anyway, when Willie released it, it almost immediately went to 24 on the charts. So it was off like a rocket, and then it was banned from radio stations because of the violence. So I just thought all of that was interesting. Now, the next thing I had to look at, of course, is where is Blackjack County, the notorious Blackjack County. And I found that there is no Blackjack County. There is a Blackjack community, which is an unincorporated town/community in Pitt County, North Carolina. And there are a few other places called Blackjack in the United States, but there is no Blackjack County. So Mr. Red Lane was probably wise in kind of creating a fictitious county so that there couldn't be any political fallout, or so that no county would be given a black eye by this song. It is a fictional song, but of course, unfortunately, things like that have happened. Not too long ago for Old Timey Tuesday, my friend Josh Griggs and I, we did almost like a little mini documentary about Polk County, Tennessee, just 30 minutes from where I live here, and a lot of the violence and corruption in their sheriff's office that went on for a long time there. But I do think it's a great story song. When I Googled it, of all people, I saw the Gladiator himself singing this song, Russell Crowe singing this song. And I had to listen to it, and it wasn't bad. He has a really deep, bassy voice. He sang it in A minor, which I'm going to say is, how many frets lower is that? 7 frets lower than I just sang it. So very bassy voice. He sang it with just a guitar, no other accompaniment, and it was on a it was on a talk show. You can look for it and find it. I thought he did a pretty neat job, a pretty good job on it. He put a lot of emotion in it, played it very slowly, and kind of put pauses in there at different emotional points in the song. And it's funny because he, much like me, thought that not many people had ever heard the song, and then he found out, oh, look at all these people that have recorded it. Back to Red Lane, I wonder, I haven't heard it this way since I was a kid, but when I was a kid, the sticks, the little black, usually wooden baton that police officers would carry that they might have to hit you with, that was called a blackjack. At some point, it seemed like billy club or nightstick replaced it. But when I first used to hear about those little sticks, peacekeeping sticks or whatever you want to call them, a weapon to use before you had to use your sidearm, because that was back before pepper spray and tasers and such. But when I first started to hear about those things, they were called blackjacks. So maybe that's where he got the idea of Blackjack County. Forced labor. Another little thing that I sang a little differently, and I sang it because of the way I heard Charlie sing it, because, of course, Charlie's one of my heroes. In the Russell Crowe version and all the other versions that I heard, the one verse, it says, the whip marks or the whip cuts have all healed, and I'm thankful, and there's nothing left but a scar around my ankle. Charlie just sang wounds, so that's the way I sang it. But I guess the original words are even more graphic. But hope you enjoyed that song. It is a gruesome song, but a well-written song, and it tells a good story. So you're watching this on Saturday. Tune in next Tuesday for an old-timey song for Old Timey Tuesday, and then the following Thursday for Original Thursday. And again, thanks for watching.